One. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Unscripted Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Eduardo, and I'm here with my co-host, Edward. What's up, Edward?
Howdy, Ed.
Not much, not much. How was your weekend of NFL football? Obviously, your series didn't play, but how did you like week 9 of football?
Week nine. There's 17 weeks in NFL season now, so
We're
I, g-
halfway.
I guess that's considered the halfway point. I know
Yeah.
17 is an odd number, so things kind of being can't really evenly split it. So maybe this is kind of the halfway point, but maybe I think now we can kind of tell who the contenders and pretenders are.
Uh-huh. And which teams are just like they're thinking about next season because we have few teams that are already looking like they got to think about next season.
Are you talking about
Um,
the New Orleans Saints?
yes, them and then the team right behind you, that you have posted right there, they're also there. Obviously, the Panthers, they got their win. Yeah, man, let's just talk about it. A lot happened in week 9, not just the games, even like things happen. You brought up the Saints. The Saints, they lost against the Carolina Panthers. The score was 23 to 22. A lot of things happen in this game, and we don't usually start talking about the Panthers because they stink. But um, Chris Olave got hurt during a play. Derek Carr threw the ball kind of right in the middle, and two of the Panthers defense, they just kind of like what collided on Chris Olave, or like helmet to helmet, or what exactly was it?
It was a standard football play, but yeah, the two defenders just it was just a standard football play. The defenders collided, and yeah, Olave's going up for a pass, and the defenders just collided, and he ended up getting a concussion, and his day was pretty much over.
And then obviously that happened, and on Twitter or X, ex Saints player Michael Thomas hit the started tweeting about like, oh, I guess, Derek Carr, he's basically what he like say he sucks, or like he gets coaches fired or something, like, he
Something
meant to
about
do.
that. Mike Thomas was just like live tweeting what he was watching.
uh,
I guess he still lives in the New Orleans area.
yeah, yeah,
still
what
kind
happened to
of,
him?
he's still kind of like, I guess he checks in, but personally, I think he was a very productive player for the Saints, but I think he kind of
Well, he
still has
blamed.
some.
Yeah, like he blamed, like, I guess, Derek Carr for that injury. He was saying, like, you should get Derek Carr out of there. He's the reason why, coaches get fired. And what happened this week today? The
Head
Saints
coach
fired their coach.
Dennis Allen got fired.
And this is the second time Dennis Allen got fired with Derek Carr as the head coach. Um, and right now they're 2-7. And then Cam Jordan took to Twitter. We just lost to the Panthers. I love y'all. New Orleans truly had higher expectations and the best host for us. Y'all deserve it. And after the game, he didn't go straight to the locker room. I don't know where he was going with his pads and everywhere. I guess Derek Carr went to go get him. So it's a lot is going on in New Orleans, and it looked promising because remember they were undefeated. They were 2-0, and they
Start
remember
the
they
season,
they started 2-0, and they started the season whooping the
and
Cowboys.
they
And
just took a
I'm
nosedive and
yeah,
lost seven
so
straight.
yeah, and it's not looking good with them. For them, they already had like what, two quarterbacks already start, the three quarterbacks, the two backups. Yeah, it's not looking good for them. Alvin Kamara had a game, 155 yards, no TDs, but yeah, it's not looking good. Bryce Young, he played decent. 116 for 26, 171 yards, one touchdown, one interception. But they won the game. But yeah, man, something's happening in New Orleans. Who knows what's gonna happen down there? Not what they expected this season at
I
all.
mean, yeah, I mean, reading kind of like reading to the tea leaves, like what Cam Jordan tweeted out. I didn't think anything of it at the in the beginning, but then I saw he posted, "I love y'all, New Orleans." So
He might
tomorrow
be
is the Yeah, tomorrow's the trade deadline,
And it's
so
only the NFL trade line day. It's only NFL trade deadline day, November 5th. It's only November trade trade deadline day.
yeah,
But yeah,
I can't really think of anything else that's probably happening that day, but
yeah. So
yeah, continue.
yeah. So I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Another thing is happening. What is happening in Dallas? The Cowboys lose again. They are currently 3-5, and it's not looking good down there in Dallas. Like you see in your background, Dak was caught on camera saying, "We fucking suck," and they do suck. This team is not good at all. They had three seasons already, 3 years past, and I think their window is closed. Like they had the best team, and this is probably the worst team they've had. It is not looking good, and I think it's the last year of Mike McCarthy's contract year. So he's looking like he might be out of there. They paid Dak Prescott, they paid CeeDee Lamb. That affects their cap for next year. Um, and yeah, it's not gonna look good for the Cowboys these upcoming years. Yeah, man, your thoughts on the Dallas Cowboys losing against the Atlanta Falcons, which they're right now 6-3, and it's kind of people are kind of forgetting what they did in the draft. Kind of like they picked Michael Penix, what, eighth or ninth overall? Was he like the
uh,
ninth?
Michael Penix.
I think he was like eighth or ninth, something like that. Well, he's top 10 pick. They used him, Michael Penix, quarterback. After they got Kirk Cousins, but it's looking good for them. Kirk Bangs, he is doing his thing in Atlanta, 3 touchdowns, 222 yards. But yeah, man, let's get back to the Cowboys. Like every other sports media is doing, they always talk about the Cowboys, regardless if they're doing bad or good or
Yeah,
bad.
it was a number 8 pick. Sorry, it just
Yeah,
took me a while to find
yeah,
that. But
yeah.
yeah, the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, they have had injuries. I'll, I'll give them that one pass. They've had injuries, but honestly, even like the players are probably checked out, and they already know what they have, and it's just not looking good. The only productive player they really have on offense is CeeDee Lamb. He really is just the offense.
Uh-huh.
They got guys, but they're like Jalen Tolbert, Rico Dowdle. Who's their tight end
Ferguson,
again? Yeah, Jake Ferguson.
Jake Ferguson.
But it's
Um,
just Dak's been
and
turning the ball over, and it's just
and they got Davlin Cook, but they didn't really use him that much. Yeah, like you said, they don't have
and apparently Ezekiel Elliott was a healthy scratch, but he didn't even I don't think he even suited up for the game.
something
So
happened. I guess what like something happened like a disciplinary action or something like that. He was late or something like that. So they're having issues
mhm.
down there. Um, you got Michael Parsons on his podcast talking about certain things. You got Trayvon Diggs arguing with a media reporter. I think that they squashed their beef, but it's just like, and then you see Dak saying on the sidelines, "We fucking suck." Now you have Dak getting injured and expected to miss some several weeks,
I also
due
find,
to a
if
hamstring injury. Yeah, go ahead.
I know, yeah, I know he got injured, but I also find it funny. Maybe I don't know if the media reached out to him or even asked him a question, like if he knew he was getting caught on camera saying that. But the point I'm kind of like trying to make is like we talk about Anthony Richardson kind of like quitting. I don't think he meant to do it, but what he did, he like quote unquote quit on his team, and then he got the starting quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys saying we effing suck. Like I don't know what kind of message that kind of sends to the locker room
Hmm.
or just the team overall.
Because he's supposed to
Pretty,
be that guy. He's
mm-hmm.
supposed to be the guy. He's supposed to be the leader. He got paid as the guy, and for him to say that, obviously, you can. If you're a player, you could probably feel like you could say that we suck and something like that. Maybe you could sell it to the guys, or you can keep that inside. But to get caught on camera and on the sidelines while there's still a game going on,
Keep in mind, there's also the same guy that said if you want to jump off, we can jump. If you want to jump off now, might as well. But
yeah.
just kind of telling that even he says that, but even though the starting quarterback doesn't even believe what he says.
Yeah, and then
So
like I said, this is all happened in the offseason. They didn't sign anybody. They did not sign anybody. Jerry Jones, he was saying like this team is good, this and that. You know, playoff, playoff hopes. They have obviously they had previously 12 win game seasons. Um, but they didn't sign anybody. They could have signed Derrick Henry. You see what he's doing in Baltimore. Then you got Jerry Jones saying that Derrick Henry wouldn't have fit the system. Derrick Henry wouldn't have the same success as he would have done in Dallas. So it just like it's all on them, and this all could prevent it. They signed Dak Prescott, they signed CeeDee Lamb. Now that it affects their salary cap because they only have like like 40 million or something like that to sign other players. And how are you gonna compete in the NFC? How are you gonna compete and try to have Super Bowl aspirations if you don't have signing good players?
I mean, as an owner and GM, Jerry's just doing his job of just trying to protect the Cowboys when I'm pretty sure even he knows the team's just trash. He's just saying all those things just to, like, just cover up all their flaws, but who knows, maybe honestly, maybe I think it was that video with Jamie Foxx where like that just set the tone of what the Dallas Cowboys season is gonna be. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about it too much.
But yeah, man, who knows what's gonna happen in Dallas? They have a tough stretch, and Cooper Rush is looks like looking like the starter. I think he didn't when I think when Dak was hurt, Cooper Rush had he did pretty well. So we'll see what happens. CeeDee Lamb has a shoulder injury. I don't know. I think he's expected to play this week. But keeping it in the NFC East, the Commanders beat the Giants in a pretty close match. Jaden Daniels 15 for 22, two touchdowns. I think one of the he was like 1 for 2 and threw for 2 yards and a touchdown that was like to McLaurin. But yeah, man, these Commanders are rolling right now. They're 7-2, first in the NFC East. Daniel Jones didn't play. He played pretty well, actually. The previous game against the Steelers, and now this game, he's played pretty well. 20 for 26, 174, two touchdowns. Man,
That's
yeah,
his that's his first two touchdown pass game in 2 years, which is some stat went viral with the internet that he has the same amount of the Chiefs have won their last two Super Bowls, and Daniel Jones hasn't had a game where he's had two touchdown passes within the same time frame. So, like I said, he was also, I think a lot of people forget he was injured last year. He kind of missed the year, but Giants fans are probably looking, they're just what they're hoping for the end of Danny Dimes, but he
who
hasn't
knows?
been playing bad. It's
Yeah,
just,
he hasn't been playing bad. They just don't have enough. And this is where the trade deadline, like some of these teams that are like 2-7 or like already know they're not in playoff contentions or anything like that, they could be selling some players. Obviously, your Steelers are looking for, or I'm sure they're looking for another wide receiver. They have Darius Slayton that could be a good option for the Steelers. So there's certain players that they could get rid of.
I
Because
mean, they're probably just going to be looking for like, not a big name wide receiver, just any wide receiver that fits that
well,
offensive
that's why I said
scheme.
Darius Slayton. So
Mhm.
who knows? But yeah, man, who knows if Danny Downs is the guy? Like I said, he's been playing well, but I'm sure Giants fans and Dable,
They've been
I'm
paying
sure.
attention to his contracts, knowing that they can get out from under it, and also just I think I'm pretty sure he's going to continue being the guy. He like just as long as he doesn't turn the ball over. But I think in order for the Giants to have some type of success, I'm pretty sure the Giants are protecting him just so like he doesn't get injured again. But I think maybe they have more of a chance when Danny Dimes actually kind of runs the
Yeah,
football.
he
Maybe
ran for
like
54 yards and one touchdown.
mhm.
So like I said, he
It's
played
like
pretty.
he needs to go back to doing that in order for the Giants to have a chance. Is what I'm trying to say.
And they gotta protect the O line. The O line gotta do well, and the defense gotta be better. But yeah, we'll see. They're more looking to the offseason. The Commanders, they're looking for a playoff appearance right now. Like I said, they're 7-2. They didn't have Ryan Robinson Jr. He was out, but they had Austin Eckler. People forget Austin Eckler's still there. You know, he scored a touchdown, 42 yards, ran for 42 yards. They had Noah Brown, the guy that scored the Hail Mary last game, 5 catch for 60 yards. McLaurin has been balling out lately. Two catches for 19 yards and two touchdowns. So he's been an red zone guy for Daniels. Yeah, man, these Commanders, they're looking really good and they're doing good on defense. Like I said, next game they play your Steelers should be a good matchup. I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of points scored in that game. Maybe, who knows, these two defense. So we'll see what happens in that game.
We'll be ready. I'm just gonna say
Yeah,
we'll be ready.
yeah. Like I said, we're also gonna keep that NFC East, man. The Eagles,
They
the
played the
Philadelphia,
Jacksonville Jaguars.
man, they could have blown out the Jaguars, but Nick Sirianni wants to
Yeah,
go
that's
for it.
this is
They won the game, and the fans still have issues with Nick Sirianni.
I was watching that game and I felt like that was a little I thought it was actually kind of funny that even like I just thought it was like odd, but also kind of hilarious that Sirianni just kept declining extra points and decided to keep going for two. And like you could probably tell fans are probably having conversations in the stands like, "What's this idiot doing? Just kick the point." But like, I guess he wants to get back to that way. He's like showing that he's aggressive, but it just it was just hilarious. How it just like I think he intentionally does it on purpose.
Just to piss them off. But yeah, man, they kept it close. It was literally they were winning the game, and onto the third quarter, that's when Jacksonville started scoring their points. So that's when like
Yeah,
those
that
just
that's when
just
Saquon fumbled and then they ran back the touchdown.
but that's when those, like I said, just the fans are just asking, just go for the point, just score the points. And Saquon, man, he is a monster. He is a beast. He is having a season in Philadelphia. You see how now the Giants are missing him. The Giants didn't want to pay him, and you see what he's doing in Philadelphia. 27
Mhm.
carries, 159 yards, one touchdown, and in receiving, he had three catches, 40 yards, and a touchdown. And then, man, just at the athletic ability of Saquon, that he did that spin move and then backwards just jumped over the Jaguars
Mhm.
defender. Like the athletic ability just to do that, that is crazy. And just that quick, just so quick and just
Yeah, early on in his career, he always like he was kind of injury prone, but I think a lot of people kind of forget that when he's in that open field, this dude he's just electric.
Mhm,
Like he was the Giants' offense, but now I think at this point in time this season, you can also put him in the MVP conversation because he is contributing to some of the Eagles' success,
mhm,
but also just kind of forget with injuries and all. Like we forget how dynamic of a running back he is.
mhm. But yeah, man, they're doing good in the running game and the passing game. Obviously, Devontae Smith, 4 catches, 87 yards, one touchdown. AJ Brown, 2 catches, 36 yards. But I mean, the Eagles are rolling right now. They are 6-2 right now, so they're second in the division. So we'll see.
Yeah,
Those definitely those later games for the divisional games are going to be very key to who wins this division. Like I said, it's been I don't know how many years since nobody has repeated the division, the division winner. So we'll see what happens.
I think what's
I
also
mean,
not getting talked about enough is like, I mean, Jacksonville is continuing to have like their offensive struggles. They showed some flashes this game, but they're still 2-7. But
yeah, who knows? Maybe Doug Peterson might just get fired.
I mean, they were putting up a fight. I don't think they quit on the coach, unlike the Saints.
Yeah, but we'll see,
Yeah,
man. Another game that happened was the Ravens took on the Broncos. Rookie quarterback Bo Nix took on Lamar Jackson. Man, Lamar Jackson is have possibly another MVP season. These Ravens are doing. They are playing really well. They got Derrick Henry. Your thoughts on your Ravens? On the Ravens, obviously they're division
and
rivals
my
for you Steelers.
Ravens.
My bad, my bad. Your thoughts on the Ravens and Lamar's um having he was 16 for 19, 280, three touchdowns, and then Derrick Henry ran for 106 yards, two touchdowns. Your thoughts on the Ravens that eventually you guys are going to be facing in about what 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 weeks. I see and I hear you, but I mean, yeah, they're the hottest team. I mean, they're a hot team in the AFC, so are the Bills, and so are
But it sounds like you're not threatened about the Ravens. You're not worried about the Ravens.
you're asking a Steeler fan who's threatened by the Ravens.
No, I'm just
Like,
asking.
what do you expect me to say?
No, but I'm just trying to say, like, are you threatened about these Ravens? They've been scoring points, 41 points on, yeah, to the Broncos. The Broncos have a good defense, but still, man, Lamar's having an MVP type season. Derrick Henry, like, just your overall thoughts on the Ravens and
I mean, though, I mean, those key players are. those those two guys are really balling out for the Ravens right now, and they still have Zay Flowers, they still have Mark Andrews, Bateman, and
Aguilar
yeah, Aguilar. But
and Likely,
I mean,
who right now he hasn't really been making some plays, but he is there. He is
I mean,
there.
I mean, they're looking good. I'll give them that, but pretty much the thing that's always kind of followed the Ravens. Like, yeah, they'll have a good regular season, but something always ends up like them kind of falling short in the postseason.
Uh-huh.
I mean, there's still time. We never know, but I'm just stating a fact that sometimes they fall short in the postseason.
Their defense got to be better. Their defense got has to step up. Definitely has to step. Their offense is really playing really well. Like I said, Zay Flowers, 127 yards, 2 touchdowns. They got Justice Hill. They use him as a receiving and he's a running back. They're Derrick Henry. But man, Lamar's having an MVP season. Like I said, it's just their defense got to step up. And then like you said, when it gets to the playoffs, we'll see if they're gonna run the ball because that's why they brought Derrick Henry. Because remember last
Hmm.
season they were running the ball a lot for the most part of the season, and then just when it came down to the Chiefs, they just stopped running the ball. So who knows? Even if they're Derrick Henry, who knows if they're gonna run the ball? Like I said, in the playoffs, that's when we'll see what happens with them. But they are rolling right now after they're what 6-3.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, the Broncos played well. Bo Nix, he looks like he'll definitely be. He has a bright future. 19 for 33, 223, and he had that one like that. He just mossed that Ravens.
Oh, it was a little trick play,
Yeah, that little trick.
and he just
Oh,
like
like a
this dude is
receiver.
a freaking athlete.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think Bo Nix, he has a future in the NFL. Looking good for the Broncos. Yeah, they lost, but
I don't know.
and I think
Maybe it's something about Oregon quarterbacks. I don't know.
yeah, well, there you go. What now you're speaking about Oregon quarterbacks. The Chargers beat the Browns. Obviously, it was the Browns. But the Browns still have a good defense. They beat them 27-10. Justin Herbert is playing really well in these past last couple of games. He threw for 282 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's been throwing the ball a lot, and he's been throwing for a lot of yards. Dobbins has scored 2 touchdowns, 85 yards, and the receiving core like Quinn Johnston 118 yards, 1 touchdown. Lad McConkey, he has 64 yards. Joshua Palmer, 2 catches, 63 yards. But like those 2 touchdowns that they scored, the Johnston and Palmer, they were kind of blown coverages on the Browns corners because they were
Hmm.
they were by themselves. They were they were wide open. But man, just Justin Herbert's playing really well, and you can see with when you have a really good coach, you see what happens with the team. That's why I was like in the beginning of the season, like even though we got lost some key guys, I felt that even with him with Harbaugh, I felt like we were still okay. Like I trust the process, and I knew what he was gonna do. He made the team tough. Even the defense has improved a lot. Remember last couple seasons, defense we were having trouble on defense. We had so many stars on defense, and we were getting scored on. I think we got 3 picks this game. But yeah, man, the Chargers are rolling. We're second in the division right now. We're 5-3. But the Browns, they have like I said, their defense is good. Uh Garrett, he sacked I think Herbert twice.
Hmm.
But yeah, man, the Chargers are rolling right now. We are rolling. We got I think we have I know week 11 they flexed the game against the Bengals.
Yeah, that's now going to prime time.
Yeah, I think we got the Titans. We got the Titans next. So that should be a win, but we'll see.
I mean,
Those close those close games.
I think the Titans are still a little. We never know if Will Levis is coming back or just.
No, Mason
I
Mason's
think
played well.
I just think with like their overall record, a lot of people just either don't they just checked out or like just aren't paying attention to the Titans. But
Yeah.
who knows?
Uh all right, now let's talk about this team that is one of the hottest teams right now in the NFL. They are rolling. It's
The
the
Detroit
Detroit
Lions.
Lions. The Detroit Lions are 7-1. And despite with the injury of Aiden Hutchinson out for the season, they went to Green Bay. The weather conditions were horrible. It was pouring rain. They went to Green Bay and they beat the Packers.
And that's their third straight win at Lambeau, right?
Yeah, and I think they haven't played a game outside dome, outside of the dome, like in a while. And they went there in the conditions that the Packers should be favorable, and they went there and they whooped their ass. I mean, yeah, they beat the Packers well. Jared Goff is
24 to
having
14.
Jared Goff is also should be mentioned in the MVP can. He should
Mm.
be mentioned that he has been playing really well. I think you mentioned in an episode that we should consider Jared Goff as an MVP candidate. He has played well. 18 for 22, 144 yards, one touchdown. Like I said, the conditions were not that great, so it was going to be a run heavy game. Your thoughts on these Detroit Lions that are 7-1? They're rolling and they're looking like a Super Bowl favorites right now. Obviously, with the Niners having their issues.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure if the season were to end, they'd probably have the number one seed in the NFC right now. But yeah, that team. I remember they they came so close going all the way to the NFC Championship game, and during the off season, there was like speculation, like yeah, some people on that coaching staff would leave or like any of the jobs available. But I think they made it a priority to make sure to keep that nucleus intact, just build off the success from last season, and it's paying off right now. So
Ben Johnson and the who's the other? I forgot
uh,
who.
eh, talking about Aaron Glenn, the defense
Yeah,
coordinator.
yeah, defensive coordinator and Ben Johnson. Those two corners that I'm sure they're offering a head coaching position.
Hmm.
But like you
But
said, man, yeah, go ahead.
yeah, the Dan Campbell Lions, I think they have I think it's also still they kind of have a set priority to get back to the playoffs and just take it one step further than where they were last year because they
Yeah,
came so close and
if they would have
they
just
did
kept running the ball.
and they reignited that city. Like Detroit's
No,
been a
there's
laughing
hope.
stock. Yeah,
There is
Detroit's been a
hope.
laughing stock for so long now. Like they're a legit contender. Like
They like the
they're nothing to sneeze at.
like when Jared Goff went to Detroit, they went to go basically he went they everybody thought he just want to go there just to rot. Like he was done, but people forget he what is he like 28, 29 years old only?
Still a
Still
number
pretty
one
young.
overall pick.
Yeah, so he's having a good season. This, like I said, they had the two-headed monster, Gibbs and Montgomery. As long as they keep running the ball, Amon-Ra St. Brown, he scored another touchdown. Man, they have Sam Laporta. You know, they have a lot of these. They have so much offensive power, and the defense is
Hmm.
getting better. I think they might go for Zadarius Smith because just kind of since Aiden Hutchins got hurt, so we'll see tomorrow. I'm sure they're gonna go for him, or I'm sure another defensive player just kind of fill that hole. But man, these Lions, I really think they have a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Um, yeah, I mean, they said the city is happy. They've been so horrible for years. But man, yeah, they're looking like the favorites right now to go to Super Bowl in the NFC East. Yeah, man, Green Bay, Jordan Love, he's been throwing a lot of picks lately.
I
Um,
mean, the Packers are still 6-3, and the Lions just they were just a better team that came to show up. But the Packers, their defense, I mean, it did have that one hit that resulted in I think a player getting ejected,
No,
I
that wait,
believe.
wait. So it's a good thing you remember about that play. I don't think that he should have been
Yeah.
ejected. That
I
there is
mean,
no way that yes, it was a flag and it was like a
hmm
helmet, but there's no intention that he had any intent to do that. Like
hmm
obviously the in New York they were gonna review it and they said that he should have been ejected. There's no way they should have done that. Like even in the call, I think like
I
was it
mean, the league the league just being like super cautious with like player safety now, but as fans you can kind of see that it's getting a little bit it's getting a little bit too excessive with what they're doing.
Yeah. But man, yeah, we'll see, man. Any last words before we end the podcast?
Uh Not really, no.
Yeah, man. We still have one Monday night game, the Bucks versus the Chiefs. Who you got in this game? The Chiefs are favorites and -9. I got the Chiefs winning. I think I think the Bucks cover, but I think the Chiefs win,
I don't know
despite the
about
Bucks
cover.
having injuries.
I don't know about cover, but like I said, this is Bucks at Chiefs. The game is at Arrowhead. The Chiefs are currently sitting at 8-0. I think it's going to go to 9-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna win the game, but like I said, we'll see what happens. Until then, we'll be back with another episode. Peace.
Goodbye.